Welcome back to the Sick Boy Podcast. I'm your host, JD Denham, and I got my good buddy sitting next to me, Justin Wenzel. What's up, dude? How are you?
I mean, what happened? Did
Yeah,
we
so
see each
so
other?
who can the people that can see us on YouTube? So we mind melted. This is what mind melting looks like. We didn't call each other. We just mind melted, and here we are. You think you look good though, bro? I
Oh,
look good. You look good. You look
yeah,
good.
yeah,
I
yeah. I went rancid today.
know.
But gray jeans is out of character for both of us. So
I
why the
know.
fuck did that work out that
Well,
way?
dude, I mean, we were sitting here for those of you that, we were sitting here before just rapping about old punk rock bands. I could do it forever.
Oh
Oh my
my
gosh.
god.
I was telling Justin, I felt the first bar chord I fell in love with was the Misfits. Just that first. I was like, dude, done, done. How do you
That's
not
it.
like punk rock music? Like, what do you mean?
I think anyone that says that they don't just hasn't heard it,
Seriously,
or given it the time of day.
right?
This has been a day though. We started early.
I know, dude. I was telling Freddie before you got here, man, I felt lifted. I felt lifted. I don't understand people that don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So another story, guys, for you listening, is Justin likes to lift heavy. I do a lot more reps, but when I lift with Justin, he pushes me to lift heavy. So it was good today, bro. I felt good.
You
I
know,
felt
it's
good, dude. I was like, I left my back was full of blood, baby.
I wrote this thing the other day about and every time I talk on this topic about strength, and it's like it's the most coveted thing throughout history, before money, before status, before anything. Like your status was how strong you were,
Like not how you looked wise, but like strength, not chiseled,
right?
but
Just
strength,
strength.
just brawn.
But the one whether you're training with reps or whether you're training with vol or with just progressive overload, strength is strength. But still, we should have that desire to have that quality in us is to be strong, like strong fucking men. So whenever I think about it, I'm like, I want to go lift fucking heavy,
Yeah.
because like just that feeling of being strong to me is like I would take a PR over a pump all day, every single day. And what's funny is that, and if you guys are into muscle growth, and that's not what this podcast is about, but like strength over all of it for muscle growth, for hypertrophy, for whatever you're looking to accomplish, like if lifting heavy is going to get you there faster, I don't care what anybody says.
That's what I literally am not even kidding you. So I went back and did some filming with Will today at the same gym, ironically. And we were just talking about that. He said that same thing.
Hmm.
Literally, he said that same thing.
Yep,
It's true.
it is.
I think I think that is embedded within a man's DNA.
Right.
Same thing of chasing growth, being better, evolving, doing more. It's not about bank accounts as we've talked about. It's about you have to grow or you're literally going to die. You have to continue to evolve. Men in particular were the protectors, the providers, the foundation that I believe a family stands upon. And I don't know really exactly when that was lost, but it's lost.
It was lost with coping.
Okay.
Because we discussed this morning, and I think this is a great topic for us to discuss tonight.
Yeah.
Is the difference between coping and thriving, right? And obvious, the difference is very obvious. But
So coping, like settling,
well,
being okay
well,
with,
well, coping would be yes, in a way. I think that coping leads to baseline, which is a fantastic place to be when you are at rock bottom,
yeah,
right?
yeah, because like you're still like doing better.
Right, exactly. And the job. So you remember in treatment, and I remember the first time that I checked myself in.
Mm,
Okay, I've only been to drug rehab one time, but
mm,
I've been to the ward twice.
okay. Like
For
detox, you mean?
no, I've never been to detox. I
Mm,
never had to.
mm,
In fact, I was almost a year from drinking alcohol or doing hard drugs um, from the first time that I went to the ward.
so like more mental.
It was more mental, more unaliving myself.
Mm.
But I remember that was the first time that I ever heard of coping mechanisms.
Mm.
And do you remember like when they would talk about that in like
I didn't
therapy?
really go through like a rehab. I mean, I would go to some of them were like lower bottom,
Okay.
and then I would walk out.
Okay, so when
very
you
early
go to like cognitive behavior
treatment type stuff. Yeah, I
therapy,
never did any of that.
yeah, so this is common teaching now.
Hmm.
So I think that's why when I first brought the topic up to you, you were like, oh,
Oh
and
yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
But so maybe,
Well,
yeah,
let's
maybe,
unpack it though. I want to hear it. So
yeah.
coping like what?
Well, and again, it's not. I was naive to this,
Mhm.
but what they started talking about was coping mechanism. So when we're talking about things like depression,
Like,
anxiety,
how do you handle it?
how do you handle it? Especially when it comes to drug use, alcoholism, and things like that. Like, what can you do instead of
Cutting off
what our
the
normal solution is, which
sure,
is
sure,
getting
sure.
fucked up?
Right.
And I started learning about coping mechanisms, and I started to find out, like, as like because I worked when I went through treatment, like I spent 6 months in rehab.
Hmm.
And there were a couple reasons why I chose to extend my program, even though I was already doing very well. But that topic kept coming up of coping mechanisms.
Hmm.
Um, and I had a different inspiration in my sobriety. Initially, from a story that I've told on another podcast about a guy named Marty that was in my life that I didn't know that he was sober. I just thought he didn't drink, but he was like the most confident man in the world,
Hmm.
right? And he was like the coolest dude you've ever met.
Hmm.
In
Because
in
of his
other words,
demeanor,
his
how he
attitude,
carried
his
himself.
demeanor, yeah, his
Yeah.
charisma,
When he
like
walked
oh,
in, people noticed.
oh yeah. And he was actually friends with my parents, and my mom would always talk about him and say, like, he has a little bit of coffee and he'll be dancing, he'll have fun, he's talking to everybody, and he never drinks.
Love
So
it.
that was like, to me, that was like thriving, right?
Like being comfortable in your skin.
Being comfortable in your skin, being able to have that
I
charisma,
think that's
carry that
thriving.
confidence, all of it is thriving.
Yeah.
And so that was the standard that I set for my sobriety, and everything
What's his name?
else. Marty Clark.
To be like Marty. You're
To,
trying to like have like
yep,
that zen,
yep. In
so to
fact, when
speak.
I was on with Brian Panuzzo, I told the story at lunch, and Freddie filmed it. And we can play it back or whatever, or because it's a great story.
Mm,
And I don't want to take up too much time on this topic, on the beginning of this topic, because I want to be
sure,
talking more about thriving than coping.
sure.
But we even collabed it with Marty, because and I'll tell you this. So that was a childhood story. Just to kind of provide context, I suppose I should tell a little bit of this. So that was a childhood story of my mom telling me this when I'm like 12 or 13
Okay.
years old.
But
Okay.
you noticed something about him different at 12.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I
Gotcha.
looked up to him.
Okay.
I thought he was the baddest dude ever. I just thought he was fucking
All
awesome.
right.
And he would stay, like, when my parents would travel to do stuff for General Motors and stuff, he would stay with us.
Mm.
And him and he had his girlfriend was Miss Maine at the time. So, like, he's
Okay.
like,
So he's good
yeah,
looking.
oh
All
yeah,
right.
great dude.
Okay.
From Boston. We lived in
Okay.
Portland, Maine at the time.
He's got that
That Boston
moxie.
accent. Yeah, oh yeah. Serious moxie. And so I always thought he was like the coolest guy ever.
Yeah.
He would take me to work out, you know what I mean? We'd go
Yeah.
cruise the strip at Old Orchard Beach. If you guys are from Maine, you know exactly what I'm talking
Okay.
about. And so when we left Maine, we completely lost touch with him. We never talked to him again. And 20 some years go by,
No.
and in my head, I remember my mom telling me that Marty never drank. That's all I knew.
Yeah.
That's all I knew.
Hmm.
And fast forward,
You sitting in this treatment.
no, this is when I'm like ready to blow my brains out.
Oh wow.
I was like locked in a bathroom huffing nitrous like it was going out of style.
Yeah.
And I paused for a second and I thought about Marty.
Weird.
And so I Googled Marty Clark. He was a hairstylist.
No way.
And I Googled
Found
Marty
him on
Clark.
Facebook.
I found him on Google.
Okay.
Marty Clark, hairstylist, Portland, Maine. And I found the salon that he worked at.
Wow.
Now I'm like fucked up from nitrous.
Okay.
And I just pick up the phone and I call the salon.
Wow.
And I call the salon and I go, Marty, I go, is Marty Clark working? And she's like, yeah, who's this? I go, it's
Whoa,
Justin.
bro.
And she's like, I said, this is Justin. If you tell him it's Justin Wenzel, maybe he'll know who this is. And she goes, let me see if I can get him. He comes, he picks the phone and I go, Justin, how the fuck are you, man? How is your
Okay.
father? And immediately he may have thought like I was calling him because something may have happened to my dad
Oh,
or
right,
something.
right.
But he knew right away. And he answered the phone. And his voice and that thick accent, it was like I was 12 years old again, looking up to this
Oh,
guy.
what a trip.
Coolest guy, jacked,
Yeah.
ripped, you know what I
Right,
mean?
right,
Just
right.
like great.
Yeah.
And I said, Marty, I said, I'm struggling. I said, and I don't even know why I thought to call you. I said, but I have this problem. I'm in trouble right now with the law, and I have a drinking problem, and I have all these things. I said, but I guess the only thing that made me call you was that my mom used to say that you were like the most confident dude in the world, and that you never drank in your life. And he goes, never drank in my life. He's like, dude, I was the biggest junkie you've ever met.
Wow.
And he goes, I don't think your parents even knew that about me.
Mm.
He goes, I don't really talk about that
Yeah, yeah,
openly. And now he does.
yeah,
And
yeah.
actually, it's funny. Now he does. He's more open about it since I wrote a chapter about it in my in my book. And I've talked to him about like in other vlogs and things like that. So now he actually will share my stuff that when I am talking about him.
Rad.
He wears the JWX tank top, like, and films himself. And he's my biggest fan today.
That's rad.
And he said, and he was also a pageant director. So he was
Mm.
like, I didn't want people like him helping their daughters do
Yeah,
pageants and
yeah,
stuff. I
sure.
didn't want them to know that I
Yeah,
was
right.
like doing home invasions
Yeah,
in
right.
Boston back in
Right.
the day,
Yeah, sure.
or whatever he was into. And so he goes, no, I goes, I'm a friend of Bill W's. But he didn't say it that way, but right. He's like, but I go to meetings still. He's
Did
like,
you know what that meant?
no, 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 no.
Okay.
But no, he said he was he was in AA. He goes to
Okay.
meetings and stuff like that. I'm
Mhm.
just saying it,
Oh, okay,
talking
okay. I
to
thought he
another
said
friend
that.
of
I thought that
Bill's.
was the
But
verbiage.
no, I had no idea what that meant back then.
Mhm.
I'd been to AA, but only to carry a court card.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so he was like, I remember him saying to me, you need to get help. And I remember him saying to me, and this is what he said to me, we're gonna find freedom together.
Woo-wee.
And now I've said that to every single guy that I've sponsored
Boom.
since.
Love it.
And so when I got on an airplane to head out to California, I called him and he said, okay, now we're gonna find freedom. Because he wouldn't talk to me until I went to actually go get help. So that day, that wasn't my sobriety date. It actually was a little bit longer that I did end up going to get help. Anyways, that that was like my standard of what sobriety was,
I mean, it's
right?
obviously a good standard.
100%.
Okay.
Because I always looked at it as like, if I'm gonna get sober and I'm gonna do this, because I never gotten sober before. I had times like of
Month.
like, yeah, a month or
Yeah.
2 months or whatever, and I think I went a longer period without drinking, but I still did like coke and like party drugs, but I just didn't drink alcohol.
Right.
So I always had something in my system.
Mhm.
But I was like, if I'm ever gonna get sober, I want to thrive and I want to be like Marty. And that was before I even knew that he was in recovery.
Yeah.
So when I go into the when I go to the when I go to treatment, I'm learning about coping mechanisms, and I remember sitting there, and then I remember seeing other people that worked in treatment, and I was like, oh, like this isn't real like recovery. This is not drinking. This is not using.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? This is the absence of the
Yeah, we're
the
just stuck here
the
like, yeah,
vice.
yeah.
And so I started thinking about so I started testing myself.
Okay.
In early recovery, I started testing myself. I'd go to music festivals, do things that I would normally do when I was drinking. One, to audit out my life, to see if I even enjoyed that shit.
Hmm.
Right? Do you really enjoy
That's
fishing, or do you
deep
just want to
thinking
get
on that
drunk on
shit,
it?
bro. Wow.
Right?
That's crazy. Wow.
But it was like first of all, I got to figure out what I enjoy.
Wow. That's pretty deep.
Hmm. And
Did you?
so, did I figure out what I
Did you
enjoy?
enjoy like going there? Like, did you fold?
Well, I didn't fold. I'm still sober, but
Oh no, I didn't know. I'm trying to kind of so like I didn't know if like it's after you got sober. I thought you were trying to get sober and testing, and I
no,
didn't know
no,
if
no.
you had like
First
a
time I got sober, the
relapsing.
first time I got sober was it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm still on the first time.
All right, so you go out, start going to like shows and punk rock shows, blah blah
Yeah, I went to Punk in the Park because I was in
blah.
early recovery. I literally had a curfew. I had to leave. I saw Me First in the Gimmies, and then I saw NoFX and had to leave halfway through the show. And because the traffic leaving out of
They're playing
Silver,
Bob, dude.
yeah, right. Uh, and the traffic leaving Silverado Canyon or
Yeah,
whatever it
yeah,
is
yeah,
was
yeah,
so
yeah.
terrible that I was actually late to
Yeah,
drop.
it's hell out of there, dude.
And there was no service in Silverado too.
Totally.
So
I
I
know
couldn't
exactly
call
what you're
my
saying.
house manager and whatnot. But anyways, and I really enjoyed that. So I was like, okay, I like punk rock festivals still,
Hmm.
right? So I still do like that. Then I was dating somebody and we went to a EDM music festival, which I
Mhm.
used to really enjoy. Different ball game.
Totally.
Did I enjoy it? Yeah, I had fun. Um, but I didn't enjoy it
A
like I
little
did
more
when I was
tempting.
using it. No, the temptation was never there.
Hmm.
Because my focus was on thriving. My focus was on like actually having fun without the substance.
Okay.
Temptation wasn't there. It was just a matter of whether I liked it or not.
Hmm.
Um, then was the ultimate test.
Detail.
Golf.
Oh, because you're always drinking.
Always drinking on the
Mm.
golf course. So I went golfing. And I was like, fuck, like this. I remember like when I golfed before I knew, because I've been golfing my whole
Habitual.
life. Well, yeah, but when I was a kid, I didn't drink on the golf
Yeah.
course.
Right.
We lived on a golf course in Maine. And I would just go right out of my backyard and go, pitch and putt and everything. And I'd have the time of my life. And I
Right.
loved it again.
Right.
It's like, okay, I love golf again. And so first was that. First was auditing out what I liked and what I didn't
Mm.
like. And then I was like, okay, now I can actually go do these things. I can go to concerts. I enjoy that. That's something I actually like feel like a kid again. In other words, I think that is what it is. I think it is like the things that you once enjoyed, part of thriving and part of your thriving mechanisms
Mm.
is the things that you once enjoyed that that
You
that
thought you couldn't do
you
without
thought you
getting
couldn't
drunk.
do once you were introduced to drugs, alcohol, and stuff like that. And I think this applies to like every vice, every
It's all the same.
shortcoming,
It don't
right?
matter. Yeah, but
Yeah,
like demons are demons. They
yeah,
manifest for everybody differently.
right. If you deal with depression, anxiety,
Same thing.
right? Exactly, right?
You're entertaining. You're in bondage to something.
Right.
You're in bondage to food. You're in bondage to heroin. You're in bondage to porn. It doesn't matter. It's a demon that you're struggling with. That doesn't matter. You're in bondage, and you can't stop doing it, or you can't. You know what I mean? But you can't. That's what's holding you back from thriving, evolving.
Well, you know what it is? It's the absence of the present moment,
Sure.
right? The demon that you're talking about is not being able to be present. Let's just say, for instance, drugs and substance aside, and you're dealing with heavy depression, loss of a loved one, or loss of a loved one.
Yeah.
Okay. And you're supposed to go to your favorite band's concert
Okay.
and you're sad and you're really feeling it. Well, you're not enjoying that concert. Why are you not enjoying
Who's in
that
your
concert?
head?
You're in your head. You're not present, right? So regardless of what it is, the circumstance
Mm.
and loss of a loved one's an extreme,
Yeah.
but a breakup,
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
right?
A little better.
Yeah, a breakup, like
Yeah.
you can't be you're
What's she
all you're
doing?
thinking, what's she doing? What's going
Sure.
on, right? So like there's no way to be in the present moment. So I think the next thing about thriving is being able to find yourself in the present moment.
I
Drinking and using is an artificial present moment, right? It's like an artificial attempt to be in the present moment. You're either drinking because you want to forget about the past, or you're drinking to because you're concerned or want to make the future, like you're pre-gaming, or you're concerned about the future,
mhm.
right? Or you're drinking to make the present moment better.
Yeah, so you were talking if we circle back to the coping part, I'm intrigued by that a little bit. I want to know, let's unpack that. So they were talking to you about coping.
Hmm.
You weren't eating what they were giving you
Not at
for
all.
dinner. And so you said, I'm going to kind of branch out and kind of figure this out on my own because you're a deep thinker. We talked about this morning.
Hmm.
So you basically like kind of made a pact with yourself, so to speak. I'm going to go try these things to see if I still can do them sober, see if I still love them. Do I have that right?
100%. That was one thing.
Okay.
And that's why and that's why I wanted to talk about this, because I haven't actually, just the other day I came up with and I don't know that I'm the one who invented the words not invented the words, but
Yeah, yeah.
the term thriving mechanism.
Mhm.
But I think I'm the first one that I've ever heard say
Yeah.
it.
So it's new to
So
you.
it's new to me. But yeah, because like I remember in treatment they listed out all the different coping mechanisms, and I don't remember them because, or not all of them at least, because um,
So like one would be like for me, I didn't go through the treatments to where I those were broken down to me, but like through trial and error, because I did try to get sober numerous times. I mean, I would say there was like probably five times when I had had enough. I had no clue how to be sober. I had no like AA. Like if I did go, I'm going outside and smoking a cigarette because F this stuff. Like, this is nuts. Like, go easy. Like, take it easy, one day at a time. Like, dude, whatever, bro. Like, I'm outside smoking a cigarette, right?
mhm.
But I came out of the gates probably five times. I got sober at 33. I started getting bad, really bad in my 25 through my first divorce. So, give or take 8 years where it was really bad. The last 3 years, horrible, horrible, horrible. But you trial and error. You learn as you go. And so my journey with that was I swore there was probably 5 times in like, I'm never doing another drug. I'm done.
Mm.
And I meant it with all my heart. I am done. You talked about that month, maybe 2 if you're lucky. And my experience with that was I had no type of, I don't want to say coping mechanism because I would never use that term, but blockage from the temptations that were sent from hell. Meaning, if it was OxyContin, like okay, I'm at my OxyContin stage and I'm done. I'm done. There's no way. And in my head, I'm serious. I'm done. But I'd get about a month, get about a little bit of life back, and I'd give hope to my family. Oh, he's doing good, you know. And but at nighttime, I would be like having a love affair with OxyContin.
Mm.
Like thinking about, man, if I just got one and like suck the green shit off, I would bite it into fours. The routine, right? The routine's equally as fun as doing the drugs. But I would have this love affair with it. It festers, it grows, you're done, bro. Like you already relapsed, bro. Like, you know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? So like fast forward to where I'm 33, where for me, it was life and death. I was gonna get sober. I was gonna die. I was a heroin and speed addict, and I wasn't gonna die. Like there's no like, if I stayed on the path 3 more months, I'm positive. Like it's not drugs or alcohol for in the most part that kill people. It's lack of hope.
Mm.
When you lose hope to the degree where like, I never got to the suicidal part, but I think I was a little too selfish for that. I got to the point where like I hated, hated waking up. Hated it, you know, and I like I'd fallen so far
Like if
away.
something happened, it wouldn't.
I was Ed, Grim
Yeah.
Reaper. Hey man, what's up, dude? All right, dude, let's go. And I'd fallen so far away from who I was raised. I'd fallen so far away from who I was supposed to be, and it was killing me.
Mm.
I couldn't breathe. I couldn't breathe. So the day my was my Marty, so to speak, it was 2 weeks before I got sober. It was after Christmas. I didn't have any money for my daughter, so I went into. I didn't care anymore, dude. Like I just had the fuck it's. Went into Target, got a cart, threw a bunch of toys, packed to the rim, and just walk right out. I don't give a fuck. That's where I'm at. That's my life. You know, she comes over and like I didn't even wrap them. I didn't think to get wrapping paper. You know, shortly after, I'm just low, 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 low. I hate life. Desperation, lonely to the core of my absolute soul that no human is supposed to be there. It's godless. It's evil. It's just, it's hard to articulate for someone that's ever tasted it or felt it. And I'd been up for days and I was in my room. I was staying at like kind of a cracky house in Temecula, dripping in sweat, just dripping in sweat. And I'm like, my heart, and I'm like, ooh, I think this is it. Not scared, just like, oh man, I'm so tired. But this God that my parents would speak of kind of popped in my head, this heaven and hell place. All going fast, like this is all going through my head fast, you know, dripping in sweat, thinking I'm going to die. And I go, well, man, if like if that hell place is real, ooh, I'm definitely going there. So in desperation, I said, you know, God, I don't know if you're real, but if you are, you know, I need you to show up. I'm in a really bad place. Fall asleep, probably for like a day, next day or whatever, whenever my buddy comes over, brings me the morning dose of self-destruction, and I go out the door like always, right? Not even thinking about that. I thought that I was going to die. We stop at a liquor store, and I would always go in with him, but I'm like, I want to smoke a cigarette. Give me some vodka. He goes in to get some vodka for us. I'm sitting against the car smoking a cigarette, just in my own world. And I see this older lady, kind of like, what is this gal doing? They're kind of looking at her. I'm like, finally, like, ma'am, are you okay? Can I help you? She goes, timid, you know, sweetheart, I don't want you to think I'm crazy, you know, but God put it on my heart to come up to you and to tell you that He loves you and that He has a huge plan for you. You're going to affect many lives.
Oh.
Ooh, whoa. And I was like, whoa. Instantly remembered. I gave her a hug. And I said, ma'am, I don't even think that you know what you just said to me. You know what I mean? That still had a little charm left in me, you know, and I gave her a hug and I said, thank you, you know, and off she went. Off somewhere that lady is out there, right? And That wasn't the way I articulated. That wasn't the lady, man. That was God saying, "Hey, man, I'm here, bro. You called. I'm telling you, man. You're gonna affect lives, dude." So that got it flickered hope in me.
Hmm.
Dude, the hope was gone, so it just went like a lighter. And dude, like 2 weeks later, bro, I woke up on January 18th, 2011. It was my daughter's eighth birthday. It was not planned. I don't even know if I thought it was my daughter's birthday. I was a freaking train wreck. I was herring speed, herring speed. And bro, I just was done. I just woke up and like I didn't have anything in me left to do that life. It was like when like you hear of a father catching his son smoking cigarettes, he locks him in the closet with like 15 packs. You can tell you're like, I'm done, dude. No more cigarettes. I felt like that. And like I hadn't talked to my dad in a year. And not talk, he did not know where his son was. My dad's a good man. He's a man of integrity. And I had not talked to him in a year. And I walked across the street, staying at this drug house in Santa Ana, and I get on his payphone and I call him and he goes, it's a 714 number, right? And he goes, JD. I said, hey, Pop, I don't, I was wondering if you can come pick me up. I'm in a bad way. I need some help. And my dad, being the man that he is, he's a man of integrity, and he's remarried. My mom passed. And I never asked him this, but this is what I'm pretty certain he did. Can I call you back at this number? Yeah, look, they had a number. Yeah, probably prayed, knowing my dad. Talked to his wife. I'm gonna go get my son. He said, "Hey, call me back. Where you at, son? Come and pick you up." Drove down, man. I sat on this curb for an hour till he came from Temecula to pick me up, and that was a journey, man. And that was just like, yeah, man, just that. It's crazy like that, brother.
Mm.
So like, yeah, man, I try to earn. I call it earning the sunrise, dude. And I text you at 4 today. You were up.
Always.
I know, that's what I'm saying, man. My alarm's at 4, but I'm usually up by then, which I was. And I call it earning the sunrise, man. Either paying the tab or earning the sunrise, same shit. And I get up before, and I earn that shit, man.
Hmm.
And January 18th will be 15 years. And I've done it pretty much. I started doing this routine for like in sober living. So it don't matter, bro. I do it. It is non freaking negotiable. I pay the tab. I earn that sunrise, man, and I earn. What we have, that thriving that you talk about. I don't know when that thing gets lit. Here's what drives me crazy. There was a man that sat down with me. I went to a meeting when I met my sponsor, and he was a badass dude. He was from Croatia. I thought he was from Russia. And like dude, this is the craziest part, Justin. You would have loved him. We go to this meeting, dude. I don't even really know what a sponsor means. I think, are we gonna be buddies? All this. I don't even know what that means. Like, what does it mean? I need to get a sponsor. Okay, what does that mean? But this dude spoke, and like everybody at this meeting was listening to this dude. And I'm like, and he's talking to me. He's telling my story. And I'm like, who is this dude? Like, who is this dude? And what the hell does he have? What is that? I want that. What does he have? So, so I asked him to sponsor me, whatever the hell that, man, like, you gonna sponsor me, man. I felt like he was acting as a chick out. Like, yeah, dude, like, great speech, blah, blah. But, dude, he just was a badass dude and he had what I wanted. And what did he have? It wasn't tangible shit. He had integrity.
Mm.
When he spoke, people listened because they believed him.
Mm.
So when you talk about thriving, that's thriving.
Yeah.
When you
So
speak, he walked
admiration,
in.
right?
Yeah.
Like,
When you walked in, people go, who's that dude?
yeah.
He had that.
Yep. Admiration, respect.
So he spent hours and hours and hours and hours of his time with me with nothing, wanting nothing in return just for me to get sober.
Mm.
How freaking rad is that, right? And so I've done the same. And it drives me crazy. Here's the people that don't work the coping mechanisms or whatever to even touch the thriving part. They get halfway up the mountain, Mount Everest of sobriety, right? And they like are fine with mediocrity. I'm like halfway up the mountain, dude. I'm freaking chilling.
Mm.
It's all good, dude. I'm just gonna sit here. I'm gonna set up camp. I'm at base camp too, bro. It's chill here, dude. Where it's like you're not gonna like turn around and help other people, bro. Like you're gonna take my time and not give it back. I don't care. Like my time's my time. Like do whatever. But like that drives me crazy, bro. Like you're not gonna give back to people. It drives me nuts.
So that was another piece that I was thinking about earlier today when I was thinking about this conversation tonight was a big element of a thriving mechanism is service.
Dude, it's the biggest, bro.
Yeah.
Because why? God watches us, dude. He's watching us now. He watches when you help people. Like
Mhm.
the story that, of Christina's boyfriend, like that's powerful, dude. God watches. He's like, you don't got to respond to this, dude. You
Mhm.
don't got to pick up the phone. You're not looking for anything in return. So he's watching you. So then when guys like us help people with like not looking for anything in return, God goes, let me bless this guy and give a trap door and an elevator up 11 floors, dude. Here's a big pile of some tangible shit, too.
Yep. And then on top of that, like the story of your sponsor,
Mhm.
right? Earning that level of admiration, that level of respect, right?
Yeah.
That came from service,
Yeah.
right? That came from him finding a life that you don't need a substance to enhance. Like it's already good.
Huge,
And
bro.
that to me was like the ultimate thing. It's like becoming the person where it's like, why would I want that in my life?
Drugs.
Anything.
Yeah.
Anything. Like it's so funny because I always go back to my most elite self manifesto, prayer, meditation, or whatever.
Mhm.
And
Like
I
mantra
it's
type
well,
deal.
it's a list. It's a list of like um it's in my
Right,
phone.
right down to what you want.
Yeah, but I walk myself through it, and it
Daily?
starts, yeah, every
Okay.
morning.
I love
It
it.
only takes about a minute and a half.
Love it.
But yeah, I go through like a list, and it's some of it people would think of as like vain and things like that, but like you picture it, like, right, like you're like, what do your tattoos
It
look
works,
like,
bro.
right? Like what are your clothes? How do your clothes fit you?
Yeah.
What are you wearing? What do you drive?
That's hard to
How do
do,
you make
bro.
people
That's a
feel?
muscle. Like to think that, like to
Hmm.
think it's a muscle.
And then it's like, how do you make people feel? How do people react when you walk in the room? What does your partner look like? How do you make your partner feel? How does your partner make you feel? I mean, you're talking about a list of just like things that would describe the most elite self, right?
Ooh, I like that.
And
I don't do
there's
that, but I'm gonna add that in a little bit.
I'll send you, I have it in my phone.
Yeah.
And then there's like, then it says, then I say, look in your phone. What's not there anymore? What habits are not there anymore?
Hmm.
And how intent like, and then I'll be like, look in your refrigerator.
Hmm.
What does your food look like? How intentional is every bite of food? You know what I mean? Like literally every little detail starts to come out. And then all of a sudden, when you get to that point and you do that enough times over and over and over again, and by the way, I do it every morning.
Hmm.
And now to me, it's like there is, when you really consume yourself with that visualization of who you want to be, there is no room for those things. All of those things become thriving mechanisms.
Right.
And so when we look at like, so if I were to look at like, what is the opposite of, or what is the graduate of, right? So like if a coping mechanism is journaling,
Hmm.
right, and like writing out your
Like what's above
thoughts,
that?
right, or
Manifestation.
yeah, or then it would be manifestation,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
So like if it's like, okay, well, I want to write a letter, like one of my coping mechanisms is writing a letter to my 14-year-old self,
Hmm.
right? Okay, well, that's a great coping mechanism and a great way to like go back to the past. But the same
Is
people,
that
and
the type of stuff they make you do?
yeah,
Hmm.
that would be a coping mechanism, right? Journaling
And
your
you didn't like that.
thoughts, journaling your behaviors. Well, yeah, no, why would I want to journal like, yeah, I guess like journaling
Like
like your
you, like
thoughts, stuff
when
like
they
that.
said like
But
write a Justin, we want you to write a letter to your 14-year-old self. You're like,
I,
fuck that.
well, actually, yeah. So it's funny because I did think, actually, I found that to be a really valuable exercise.
You kept it.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I was trying to follow.
I don't put that in the basket
Corny.
of thriving mechanism. I still look at that as coping mechanism.
Okay.
What I would tell you though is writing a letter to my future self. Like we did it. You know what I mean? We achieved this, and this.
Dude, that stuff's powerful, bro. Manifestation, I don't care what anybody says, it works. Now it
Oh,
takes deep thought to really manifest because you have to like, as you say, if you want to like think of yourself with a certain gear on, like a suit that's like just dialed in suit, you got to literally like picture yourself wearing that suit. It's hard, dude. It's it's hard to think like that deeply,
oh,
that like
and it
you
gets like,
feeling
I'll
it.
go like how I'm groomed.
Yeah.
What does my beard look like? how are my nails trimmed? Like
Mm.
I'll go down to every fucking detail, and some people watching this may be like, well, that's fucking crazy to do. Well, watch how you start to behave,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
manifestation without
You're like
behavior is
retraining your brain, dude. So like I always say, drug addict, alcoholic brain, upside down. There's no logic. Like why do you keep doing this, Justin? And like I don't know.
but we're
Like
committed.
yeah, I don't know why we're doing this, but then because you have alcoholic, drug addict brain, whatever. But so then you get sober, and your brain finally finally after whatever drug you're on, finally whatever it takes, however much time, then you finally can like logic. You know, you have no logic when you're drinking, dude. Like you
No.
can't talk sense to somebody that's out there, dude. There's no talking sense to people that are illogical. You know what I mean?
But you still share the same obsession and the same commitment.
Sure.
And so when you start to visualize this all the time, because again, manifestation is powerful. Manifestation without change of behavior, manifestation without the work is meaningless.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to manifest your way solely into what the life that you want. That's the exercise to help you get there.
Yeah.
That is the blueprint in a way, but not even the blueprint.
Yeah.
That's the goal, right? That's whatever. But when you manifest enough to where you believe that you can achieve it, and you have such a clear path, right? For even for goal setting,
Mm.
right? Like goals should be, what do they say, smart goals, right? So like, what is specific, measurable,
Mm.
attainable, realistic, and timely, right? So you set a time for them, right? Like, so your goal should be smart. So if you manifest and you get really specific to everything, right? They should be just like your goals, like
Yeah.
very specific,
Right.
very
Very, very,
dialed
very,
in.
very. Yeah, right.
And the more that you focus on the goal, right? What is the oldest saying? Your eye on the prize, right? The more you focus your eye on the prize, the more your behavior will start to change.
Mm.
And the more your behavior starts to change, your effort increases,
Hell yeah.
your output increases,
Why?
your initiation increases. Well, why? Because you're
Because
obsessed with it.
yeah, but like what you're doing is you're doing something every day that you don't want to do. And so what happens is when you do something every day that don't want to do, you don't see it. You don't see when it happens. All of a sudden you have some character. All of a sudden you have some self-worth. Because dude, try not picking your nose for 7 months, or try not saying fuck for 7 days,
Mhm.
right? Like it's hard, right? But if you do it and you like put your mind to it and you do it and do it and do it and do it, yeah, does it become easier? Yes, that's the point. But you all of a sudden get self-worth, dude.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? No longer are you a piece of shit. Like my ex-wife used to demolish me with her words because I felt like I was a piece of shit. She told me I was a piece of shit all the time, and like my actions kind of proved it. But the further I got away from that last drink, I'm not a piece of shit anymore, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I've said my sorries. I don't need to say anymore, man, because I'm fine with me. I've repented. I'm done. You know what I mean? They
Mm-hmm.
don't words mean nothing. They're not there.
Right.
That's the confidence that it takes time. It does not happen. Like Marty, I guarantee you that dude paid some dues paying the tab to get to that confidence.
Yeah. And I think he has
But
that.
how come so many people? How come so many people go halfway up the mountain and settle? They put up base camp at Camp 3 when there's 6 camps. Why don't they go to the top? Thriving is on top of Mount Everest. Why don't they go? Why do they stop? Why do they stop doing it? Motivation, like they get a car. Like everybody comes out the gate ready to rock,
Mm-hmm.
right? Everybody wants to win. Do you think
Yeah.
you're going to win? When you get married, do you think you're going to get divorced?
So it's funny because I refuse to believe that the answer is comfort. Because
Are they comfortable?
are you really?
Not
Exactly.
really.
Because
It's
how
what they
many?
know.
Well, what we know is we find comfort in chaos,
Yeah.
right? So I refuse to believe that the answer is comfort. What I do think is because I don't think that I do not believe that any real addict that was able to, because I mean it takes work to hit rock bottom.
Fuck yeah.
It takes commitment to hit rock bottom.
Bro, like I fucking put my effort into that shit.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
My birthstone
I
was
was
rock
good at
bottom.
it,
Yeah, right.
dude.
Yeah, really good. And so it takes work to hit rock bottom. And so I refuse to believe that like people just like find um what is it what would be like what is the considered the new solution,
And it's
right?
not everybody supposed to thrive then,
Well,
right?
no, but I think that every addict has it in them too.
Fuck yeah.
But I think that somewhere along the way, are we maybe indoctrinating people in recovery that like, you know, you what you need is a coping mechanism to get you to baseline. Now, yes, baseline is going to make you a better parent. Baseline is going to make maybe baseline is going to make you a better partner. Baseline will get you an apartment with some decent furniture, get you a get well job, and do all of that stuff.
Yeah.
But I honestly feel like baseline in many cases, and actually that I don't even think anybody would argue with me with this, is that the statistics actually do show relapse rate is far higher, is probably because baseline gets uncomfortable for people.
Because they get sick of being there, or why? What do you mean?
Boring,
Fuck yeah. I mean, I would hope so.
boring. You know,
I know what this is not
more
an.
people relapse than stay sober, right?
Well, I
Is
mean,
that
because
not correct or is
how
that correct? I believe that is
oh my
100%
gosh,
accurate.
bro, like the statistics of people recovering is very low. I've
Yes,
sponsored, teen man. You know how many guys I'm almost 15 years of sobriety. You know how many guys I've sat across my table doing steps? I don't even know. Probably over 100. And you know how many I've walked through the steps of Alcoholics Anonymous?
doesn't.
Like 6.
Oh, really?
Yeah, bro, it's that bad. They
Okay.
get to like step 3, bro. Like one of maybe 2 months, and then they got a little life back, bro. Like they feel I'm good.
And I'm not pretending like I know the statistics. I
Oh
just
no, no,
know
no.
that
That's what
I
I'm
know that
saying.
the
It's low.
relapse
So
rate is
like,
high.
yeah, no, it's just like because they don't continue the work.
So then my question is, and again,
So maybe that's a question. That's the answer. Maybe that's the answer. They don't continue the work. Like
well,
you and
no,
I
yeah,
finished the work. Like I climbed Mountain Everest, but like I climbed it and I throw a rope down. Like come, you don't have to do it again, dude. Just follow the rope and follow the steps.
yeah.
No, no,
Well,
no,
and
no, 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 no. Right there.
and
Here's my hand.
anybody watching this, we're not pretending like we have the answers. This is a concept. This is a conversation that we have been, and I know for myself that I've been really thinking about. And it was like, so the title of my book, and when I choose to release it, is it's done. It's just I have a little bit of I have a little bit of fear there that I'm working out, and I've talked with Tony about it and stuff too. The concept of my book is called Wasted Time. Subtitle is Creating a Life You Don't Need a Substance to Enhance.
Hmm.
And I don't, and again, I don't know that I have the answers, but the idea of me putting into
You're
baskets
seeking
like
them.
right, what I'm seeking them, and I'm thinking about it, and it's like what in the baskets of like what has allowed me to cope and what's allowed me to thrive, because I don't know that I've in my sobriety yet that I've had to even use a coping mechanism,
Hmm.
and things have happened.
But your story is very unique.
It is,
Thinking
but it's
through, like you're a thinker, so you can probably almost like think yourself into what you did. That's very rare. And I was telling you about my friend that's similar to that. I would tell him, I'm not gonna say his name, but I say we'll call him Bob. Bob, listen, he'd call me because he was a mess at first. Bob, dude, you're what ifing, what ifing, what ifing. What if nothing happens? Take your brain out, put it on the sidelines for a second, right? But he didn't need to go to the lengths that I did, 2 meetings a day, blah, 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 because he's a deep thinker. So he was able to reverse the toxic thinking and use the thinking to like think himself out of the hole a little bit,
mhm.
similar to you. Like it's very similar to what we were talking about this morning.
I think so. Um, no pun intended.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also think that like it was some of this trial and error of like what again, auditing out what I enjoyed, what I didn't enjoy, doubling down on the things that I did enjoy.
That's thinking.
Right. Thinking of the stuff that I could commit myself to, right? Because knowing that I'm going to become so obsessed and so committed with whatever I choose to do,
Yeah.
because that's the addict in me, right? So if it's business and I have a project, like I'm going to obsess over that no matter what, and I'm going to see it as finished. So I think that some when you get into because it is here's the thing too, and some people are like, oh, you know, they get into rehab, they get into treatment, they get into early recovery, and it's like, is this it?
Mm,
And the answer is no,
mm,
it isn't it. Like there's Coping,
Amazing shit out there, dude.
yeah. And I feel like too, and I'm not trying to bag on like on the recovery process and system, but I think that um I think that they're trying to play tennis without the net. In
Mm.
other words, like they're telling you like where to go with baseline, and then they're shuttling you to Alcoholics Anonymous, where they're explaining to you the promises and a life beyond your wildest dreams and all of these things. And then you leave Alcoholics Anonymous and you go back to treatment, and treatment's giving you these coping mechanisms to stay at baseline. And then you go to the other side, and it's like it's almost like a game you can't win.
Mm.
And to me, living a life coping um, is obviously never ever ever going to give you the life of your dreams. But I don't want to say like I feel like it's dangerous to say like fuck the coping mechanisms. But in a way, if the vast majority of people in recovery relapse, then clearly something's not working. What can we give people to become excited about?
There was, I don't remember the country, but they were doing some type of radical change in regards to recovery, which was not condemning or shaming or doing it like we do it. They were giving them jobs, giving them positive, some like positive things in their life to be excited about. And that was very successful. It was yielding a lot of success because
Yeah.
same thing like they
So the country was Venezuela.
okay,
I know the study,
okay.
right? And instead of incarcerating, instead of doing all of that stuff, they actually legalized all drugs,
Mm.
which I don't know if I agree with that, but yeah, they focused more in on
Helping them become
yes,
something.
instead of incarcerating, rehabilitating, and making them productive members of society, helping them find purpose and so on and so forth, which I 100% agree in.
Yeah, I mean purpose is that's for sure.
Another culture, I believe, and again, don't quote me on this, but I believe it's an African culture. When somebody in the community, in the tribe, in the village, or whatever is dealing with things like depression, anything like that, where like the community gathers around them
Loves them.
and showers them with love, compliments, and things like
That's
that.
rad. I've
So
never
the
heard that, but that's rad.
positivity side of it is very contagious. Giving somebody purpose is very contagious.
Mm.
But the biggest struggle is the fact that there's work involved. And so for us to understand, like and I love the pick your hard, right? Like pick your hard thing, right? Like it's hard to be less than what you could be. It's hard to not chase your dreams. It's hard to let time go by and realize, but it's also hard to go after all of them. Pick your hard, right? So people need to understand that when we talk about thriving, we talk about thriving mechanisms, if that's a thing yet. Maybe I'm going to make it a thing, but we talk about the things that allow us to become the version of ourselves, the most elite version of ourselves. Like understand that it is going to be hard work.
Hell yeah,
But it's
dude.
really hard also to stay stagnant, miserable, discontent, white knuckle, more than likely relapse or go back into your old ways, fall back into depression, fall back into anxiety,
True
fall
that.
back into all your
True
old
that.
habits, and stand still and stuck in that world.
Yeah. I know that we have to wrap this up, but I'm gonna give everybody a cheat sheet. You're not. I'm gonna tell you the end of the story. You don't ever reach your best self. It's always under construction. Like Justin and I are guys that are pretty healthy. We're pretty fit. You know, we're what a lot of people would call successful financially, if you will. But we still work our freaking ass off. Why?
Mm.
Because you're always under construction, dude. You're always under construction, dude. You're not ever there. Because that's what I was saying, kind of in the beginning. You have to evolve. You
Mm-hmm.
have to evolve, or you're going backwards.
Mm-hmm.
And like men, strength, right, is embedded into our DNA to keep doing more, not wanting more, not talking about riches. I'm talking about being better. And
You,
that's where people stop. They don't do, they for whatever reason just
yep. You
don't.
gave the cheat sheet,
Yeah.
and I'm going to give the hack.
Yeah.
Fall in love with the process.
Woo. That's
Fall
the
in
gold
love with it
mine.
and find a way to fall in love with the process. This morning, I knew I had a big pull day. This morning, I knew Freddie was coming to film and to join me in the gym. Okay. Still, I was like, oh, okay, this is work now. Like, I gotta get to the gym. I gotta fucking throw down. I gotta probably go through some scripts and things like that. Right? You texted me. I said, hey, you want to go train? You're like, yes, and right.
I
And
did.
and right then, my oh fuck, I gotta go to work. I gotta do like this and again, like, thank God this is my job.
Yeah, totally,
Like,
bro.
I am not
Blessed.
totally, I love my job. My job is working out on camera. Um,
Seriously, bro.
but so thank God this is my job, but it still is a job. And then all of a sudden I was like, well, now one of my best homies is going to be training with me at 5:30 in the morning.
Rock.
Let's fucking rock.
Oh yeah, and then I left like, hell yeah, dude. I was like all lifted.
Fall in love with the process. Find ways to fall in love with the process. And what are the ways you're going to find out? Well, surround yourself with the right people. Obviously, we're always going to say that that's always going to be the end of things.
Needs to be redundant.
Yep, your community is going to be exactly what determines the life that you live. So fall in love with that fucking process. Find out what the things are that you're happy with.
Write
And we'll
them
come
down.
back to this topic another time because I
I
feel
know
like
I
we're
could
going
go
to be able to
forever.
pour into
Oh my
this
god,
this idea of that basket of
we haven't
thriving
even touched
mechanisms.
it.
We barely, yeah, because we kept going off track.
But the
But
thing is though, like this stuff makes me think. I could talk like for like this with hours for you because it makes me think too.
yep,
You know what I mean?
what are the
Like if
things that
you sat down and wrote those things down. So if you're listening to this and you're struggling, like how are you going to know what you want if you don't think about what you want? I know that sounds stupid, but think about it. Like you ask anybody, like, what exactly do you want? I don't know. Like, no, have a definitive what you want. Like even like write down an exact number of money in your bank account. Like just do it. Write it down. Keep it in your wallet and think about that number. Like I know that might sound crazy to people. It
vision
freaking works,
board, well,
dude.
vision board,
Dude, it
goal
works,
sheet. Well, why
bro.
don't we close with this? So I'll walk you through the most elite self
I don't know.
on camera, and we can let people know how this works. Let me pull it up. It's in my notes. Um, and this will be really good. You're supposed to stand up, but you'll be out of frame, so we won't stand up.
Yeah.
And then this is going to be fantastic for you guys who are watching this, and we can share this too. I can put this in a file, and we can actually, I think I already have it in a file. Okay, close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Let it out slow. Let your shoulders drop. Let your mind clear. Now picture your most elite self. What do you look like? Head to toe. What's different? What are you wearing? How do your clothes fit your body? How does your body feel? Strong, light, unstoppable? How do you walk? What does your
Shit.
posture say before you speak? Now picture your face, your eyes. What kind of focus do they carry? Zoom in. What does your morning look like? How do you wake up? What is the first thing you do? What is your routine?
Boom.
What is in your kitchen? What does your food look like? How intentional is every bite? Now think about your phone. What's not there anymore? What distractions have you deleted? What habits are gone? Now the people. Who do you surround yourself with? What kind of conversations are you having? Are they talking about problems or solutions?
Boom.
Now walk into the room as this version of you. How do people respond? Do they stand taller? Do they feel inspired? Maybe a little intimidated? Do they listen when you speak? Feel that presence, that power, that clarity. Now take a deep breath. And when you open your eyes, you're
You're
going to
him.
step to the right into that version of you. Not someday, now. Because that person already lives in you. You just have to stop waiting.
Dude, where did that come from?
This is,
That's rad.
yeah, this is something else I learned from Jay.
That was rad.
Isn't that great?
Yeah, I love it.
Every morning.
It had little pieces of like what I talked about too. That's just like, you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
it has like, we'll end on this, man. So if you're listening to this and you're struggling, I would imagine, so hopefully some alcoholics or people struggling with whatever demon you're struggling with, start with little wins. My suggestion, you can give your suggestion, is set your alarm clock early, maybe an hour if you're even crazier. Do it 2 hours, what you normally do, and never hit snooze again. What's the first decision of every day? The alarm clock. Don't ever hit snooze again. Make the decision to be a better version of yourself, and it starts with an alarm clock.
Mm. And eventually, you won't even need an alarm clock.
Yeah, bro. Do that, man.
This was awesome.
I love it,
Again,
bro.
this is
I
becoming my
love
favorite
it.
thing
Yeah,
to
it's
do.
gonna be good, bro. We haven't even hit stride yet. It's gonna be good.
Awesome.
Only love, brother.
Yeah.